How we doing, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of FSI's PGA DFS Picks. It is PGA Championship week, and I'm your host, TK Nation 47, joined with John McLeod. John, how are you doing this evening? Are you looking forward to our second major of the year?
I am. I'm pretty pumped up for it. I love getting the DraftKings pricing early and digging in over the weekend. Certainly a fun event. Really new course, except for the one time a whole bunch of years ago. And so I think it gives us a little bit of an advantage this week. Tough course. A lot to like this week. Just if nothing else, all the stars playing. I'm really excited. What about you?
I'm looking forward to it. Definitely coming off of a big ticket win last week, hitting the KH Lee long shot bet at 175. That was a big payday. Pretty cool stuff. Exciting. I just couldn't believe it. You know, I got done with my 18 holes and I saw he was, I think 5 under through 8. I was pretty much floored because, you know, he's running away with it in bad conditions. And it was just a really exciting day. Big day for me, and looking forward to rolling that kind of mojo here into the PGA Championship. If you all have not had a chance to give John's PGA course preview, it is a good one. Really good stuff, really on Kiowa Island and what to expect from this ocean course. Yeah, like he had said in the video, 2012, last time we saw this long course. But give that a look over. He goes through his favorite stats that we like for our models and what we're looking into this week for our favorite golfers. Okay. Any quick thoughts real quick on strategy, milli makers, and just overall major mindsets before we get into picks?
Yeah, for me, I found the most success at these majors playing in cash. I know it's not flashy. It's not going to win you the $1 million, but that seems to be the most profitable. You get much bigger contests with many more fish involved. So really 5 out of 6 oftentimes would be just fine. Even some 4 out of 6 with a couple guys in the top 25, top 15, something like that. That's usually my strategy, is just to kind of weight it quite a bit on that side. But I can't resist. I am entered in a qualifier for the Fantasy Golf World Championships as well as the Millie Maker. But I'm only going to play the one line in each of those. I'm not going crazy. Much rather spend my money where it makes money, and that is cash for me. What about you? Any thoughts or how you're going to kind of angle for this week?
I'm probably headed for just a standard DraftKings week, and I'm going to probably put a little bit more influence on my picks here on my betting card. I think I'm going to kind of roll with that mindset. I kind of got an eye right now for top 10s and sleepers, so I'm just going to continue on with that. And yeah, I'll have some darts in the milli maker, but ultimately, I'm like you. I'm going to continue with my same processes and maybe just uptick it a little bit, maybe find myself in maybe a $50 GBP that I don't normally enter, or $100, depending on how I'm feeling. But I got some extra cash in my pocket. I'm looking forward to another week, and happens to be major. So let's get into some picks. First up, we have favorites. I'm going to go with my guy, Jordan Spieth. 10-1 on the salary card for DraftKings, 15-1 outright. I don't mind the outright bet. This is Jordan going for a major Grand Slam, something he has been coveting for a very long time. It's kind of shocking that he doesn't have a PGA Championship, considering the form he was in when he was number 1 in the world. But Spieth, coming off a long layoff at the having only played at the Masters, he had battled COVID recently. We just learned about that last week, but obviously none of that was playing into effect last week at the Byron Nelson with another top 10 performance. So I'm not sure if it was 10 or not, but he was inside the top 10 for the majority of the week last week. He's in great form, 6 on the approach. He's number 1 in short game, or number 1 in par 5 scoring, which was kind of cool to see. So big fan of Jordan Spieth. Going to keep rolling with my guy. I have to. What about you on Spieth, and who's your favorite this week?
Yeah, so both of these guys I have an outright bet on right now. So I am happy to see you taking Spieth. But for me, Dustin Johnson, I know this is a DFS pick show, and I will be playing some Dustin Johnson. I'm much more excited to bet him here on the outright market. The 18-1 number is pretty crazy for really the best golfer in the world if he's healthy here. And that's really the only question mark, I'm pretty sure. So, and people saw the social media posts about him doing backflips off a boat and all this and that. So I'm going to go ahead and buy into that the injury is not serious and that he was just taking additional time off to be ready for this week. I absolutely love the 18-1 number. Again, though, I will play him on some DraftKings along with some other guys in this top range. But yeah, he's been fantastic in majors. Really looking at his last 3 wins at majors here. He's won the Masters, Tour Championship, and Northern Trust. Sorry, that's just in his last 10 events. He's got 3 wins, and that includes the Masters, the Tour Championship, and Northern Trust. In his last 5 events, though, he hasn't been great. No top 10s. He did miss a cut. But really before that, that's when he was streaking a whole bunch of top 10s, 8 actually. So I like him a lot. In his last 5 majors, he did miss the cut at the most recent Masters, but then he did win at the end of last year, 6th place at the US Open, 2nd at the PGA Championship, and then 51st at the Open the last time it was held. So really, he's got great form on these difficult tournaments. He's got really great Pete Dye track numbers as well. Long, difficult courses don't bother DJ at all. He is number 5 in this field distance, last 36 rounds. Also 20th in ball striking and top 10 tee to green. So a whole lot to like here for Dustin Johnson this week. I hope he goes out and wins it. That would be great for me.
Absolutely. I hope one of these 2 guys win it, Jordan Spieth or Dustin Johnson, because I'll have quite a few of lineups with each. So yeah, good favorites from us. I'm looking forward to it, but we're going to need some value here. Let's get into that. My favorite values.
I was just going to give a shout out to Victor Hovland. He pops in my model a lot. I will play a whole bunch of lines with him. I don't have an outright for him on my outright card, but I will be playing quite a bit of Victor Hovland here on DraftKings. I don't think that's going to be, or I should say, I do believe it'll be a super popular play. Unlike Dustin Johnson, I don't think he's going to garner a ton of ownership. The injury, when I looked yesterday, he was still listed as out on DraftKings. That alone should give enough people hesitation to damper ownership just a little bit. Victor Hovland will not be under-owned. He is going to be very, very popular.
No doubt about it. I was certainly thinking about putting him up as a favorite, but I think I got to go with my guy Spieth here to finish out the Grand Slam. So a big fan of Victor as well. For value plays, I'm kind of going with my gut. It's been steering me in the right directions of late. So I'm going to place a nice little outright bet on Louis Oosthuizen at 55-1. And he cashes in the PGA Championship for his first major after longing with a bunch of second place runner-ups for what seems like, decades now. But Louis Oosthuizen at 8K, if we're talking from a DFS standpoint, is extreme value. We're talking about the best short game player in the field this year. He's in fantastic form with an 8th place at the Valspar Championship, 26th at the Masters, 41st at the Players, and he was 6th at the Congressions, which was the WGC Mexico, which was also on the coast of Florida out near, I believe, Jacksonville, which was on the same Atlantic Ocean. He does have a 3rd at the U.S. Open in September, and he was 6th at the St. Jude. So he's got some pedigree when it comes to WGCs, majors. I like Louis Oosthuizen. He gained 5 on the approach at the Valspar. He's been one of the hottest putters. So give me Louis Oosthuizen and give me Thomas Pieters as well. 6,800, 175 on the outright. This is a guy that burned a lot of people last week, and I'm one of the proponents of a short memory when it comes to DFS. Guy I was, mother effing in my back room watching golf, but at the same time, these guys are human. And I actually think this is a better spot for Thomas Pieters this week than it is last week. He's excellent in the wind. So if the wind picks up, he's going to be able to play through it. This is Paspalum Green complexes. So 2 events that he's played recently that have the same green complexes is Corrales Punta Cana Open and the Puerto Rico Open. He finished 13th and 15th in both of those events with that same green. style. He's an excellent ball striker. Even with the miscut last week, he gained 3 on the approach and he was 3.5 tee to green. It was not his ball striking that let him down. It was simply the putter. And now we're going to get him on what looks like to be a preferred putting surface. He's 23rd at last year's PGA Championship and he was 6th in 2018. So give me a lot of Thomas Pieters on DraftKings, and I hope everyone just fades him because they got burned last week. So what are your thoughts on these two golfers, and who are your favorite value plays?
Yeah, I was with you in that being burned by Thomas Pieters last week. I recovered a little bit, but had he just made the cut, I would have had a much better week. He was
100%.
in my cash lineup. Unfortunately, I do like that. I really like the Louis Oosthuizen, and he always seems to rise to the occasion. So any of these really big events, I tend to put some Louis into my lineups. For me, really, I mean, you have Louis at 55 to 1. I got another guy just a little bit cheaper on DraftKings as well, 7,700, Paul Casey. A whole lot to like here, Paul Casey. His last 10 events, 4 of those he has top 10s. He does only have the 1 missed cut, and those last 10 events, that does include playing the Masters twice. He was been in the PGA Championship the last 9 years. He does have a few missed cuts, 3 of them. But he also has 3 top 15s. He was runner-up in 2020. I don't really care about the course comp or any of that, but just the fact that he was top 5 at a major is a big deal to me when it comes to looking at golfers for this week. So lots to like there. He made the cut in his last 4 U.S. Opens as well, all of which he finished top 30. And also he has 5 different top 10s at the Masters. So just a lot of really big events for Paul Casey he's shown up in. The stats back it up as well. He's 12th on approach, last 36 rounds. Also top 25 ball striking, 13th bogey avoidance. He is number 1 in proximity from 200 plus as well. There's going to be a lot of approach shots from long distance. He loves P-die courses as well. He's top 10 shots gained on those. So a whole lot to like for me this week on Paul Casey. I'm going to back that up here with a little bit cheaper Charlie Hoffman. I think actually the bottom of this 7K range is kind of loaded with some other really good golfers. I picked Charlie Hoffman here, but I easily could have taken Keegan Bradley, a handful of others down here that I will be playing a ton of this week. But yeah, Charlie Hoffman, 7,300. His odds are way down there though at 140 to 1. I don't know if I would pick him to win outright. If you look at the pricing and odds, it drops off really quick in this event because the elite golfers tend to win it. So not many guys down here under 7,500 have any real chance to win. But if you want to go bet your top 20s or better yet, play DraftKings. Charlie Hoffman, his last 10 events, he does have the miscut, but he also has 7 top 20 finishes. That is awesome to me. I like the form a lot. Does include 17th at the Masters. Has had success on P-die courses, some U.S. Open success as well. But he is absolutely fantastic from the ball striking standpoint. 4th on approach, 5th ball striking, 7th tee to green. He's also 11th driving distance. So a whole lot to like here about Charlie Hoffman this week. Any thoughts on these 2 value plays or anyone else you're thinking of plugging in down here?
Yeah, I like the Charlie Hoffman play a lot. 7,300. I have to echo the same sentence with Keegan Bradley's breaking stat models across the industry. So I could see him being pretty chalky. And Paul Casey, certainly a guy I don't mind at a course like this, where you can kind of eliminate putting as like a major factor, because we all know Paul Casey is the biggest team no putt guy you can have on your roster. But yeah, when you're focusing on ball striking and around the green, and you're trying to get guys that score well on par 5s and take advantage of the opportunities that they do get, Paul Casey certainly does come to mind when you're thinking of that type of golfer. So I like these 2 value plays. I like the builds we got going here in the picks we've been having. So with that being said, let's get to the slide that made me some money last week. That was the sleepers slide. I have Sam Horsfield as mine at 6,700, 600 to 1. That is not an outright bet I would tout, though, unfortunately. I just wanted to talk about this young Eurostar. He is typically a 9K, 10K golfer when it comes to Euro Tour DFS. Elite ball striker. He leads the European Tour in ball striking on strokes gained approach. He is 2nd in scoring average, and he is 5th in strokes gained total. You get a discount here at 6,700. It seems wild to think. I think I like that top 20 bet if it's looking pretty juicy. I haven't had a chance to look at it. He was 21st last week at the British Masters. That was also played in windy, wet conditions. 70th at the Valspar. He missed that cut by one, and he has a couple of top 10s and no finish worse than 21st on the European Tour this year. So Sam Horsfield is an incredible discount, incredible talent, really young, long off the tee, 15th at the Austrian Open, which was pretty wild conditions as well. So I'm pretty shocked at this price. It was the first golfer I brought up to John on today, and he probably was wondering what the heck I was talking about, but I'm pretty excited to roster him this week. So John, I hope you follow me on this one, and I'm looking forward to your sleeper. I got a little money on him in the betting market. So go ahead with yours.
Yeah, Chris Kirk popped for me in the models, so I'm going to go ahead and scoop him up at the 7K on DraftKings. I really like that. I don't know if I believe that Kirk can win this. He hasn't won an event here over the course of the last year plus when I'm really looking at the stats and everything. So I don't expect a win out of him, but I do expect a really good finish, especially for the 7K. The form's been good for him. He did miss cut in his last event, but over his last 10 total events, he does have 4 top 10s. I like that a lot. The upside is there for him. Maybe not winning upside, but top 10 numbers. He was 31st at the 2018 PGA Championship. That was the last major for him. So he does have a little major experience. Nothing too fantastic. He's had some success on Pete Dye courses as well. But really, it's kind of the stats that are driving me his way. 25th in this field in ball striking for a guy that's at 7K is awesome. Top 30 on approach. He is top 10 avoiding bogeys in this field, which really is going to go a long way this week. Again, in the preview, I couldn't stress that enough. It's going to be super difficult. I could see there being less than 10 golfers, maybe 15 golfers total that are under par this week after 4 days. So like that a lot. Par 5 scoring, he's top 20 also, and proximity from 200 plus. So a lot of things pointing Chris Kirk's way to have a good week this week and bounce back from that miscut. I think ownership might be down a little bit too. There are, as we said, a few golfers in that low 7K range that are very, very popular or should be. I don't know where he'll fall, but I think with the recent miscut, you might get a little discount on ownership also.
Yeah, I definitely have a little bit of money on Chris Kirk I'm thinking I want to bet him outright. It's like you said, I kind of feel the same way. I don't think he can win, but I certainly don't mind a little splash on like a top 5 or a top 10 because he's got a few of those this year.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe something crazy happens. First round leader, who knows? So I like these 2 picks. I'm going to have quite a bit of them on the DFS angle as well. Okay, so that'll bring us to some one and dones. I got my Fantasy National Golf Club hoodie on for the big major, and I was lucky enough to have Rory McIlroy left in my player pool coming off of a previous winner on this course in 2012. I just thought to myself, what a better moment than taking Rory than it is now. So if I'm going to burn a stud, it's certainly going to be at the PGA Championship and certainly going to be at a course where Rory McIlroy is comfortable. So that's my one and done. And what are your thoughts on yours and how are we doing so far as in the overall standings?
Yeah, I do like the Rory pick. I do not have him left in my pool, so I didn't have that as an option. Just like you, though, this is an event to take a stud. I will take DJ here. In the season stats, we both moved up a little bit on Will Z's back last week. He had another classic Will Z performance of just top 15 or so and move on to the next week. He's really trying for that Ryder Cup appearance, I think. I don't know if it's really in the cards. I heard that he was out on the golf course today with the captain as well as Phil Mickelson and one other golfer as well that really could give him an opportunity to slip into that group as the captain's choice. So I don't know. We'll see. Love some Will Z, but this week, give me Dustin Johnson as the one and done.
Cool. I like these 2 picks. It seems like we've been making up ground. We've been playing our cards pretty right. And man, we hit one of these winners, we're going to be right inside that top 1,000. So I'm looking forward to hopefully coming away a winner in one of these contests here soon. So with that being said, that'll probably wrap things up here for the DFS Pick Show from your boys here at FSI. John, any last comments, strategy, anything for the listeners?
Yeah, we alluded to it a few times. It could get windy and wild. We're going to pay attention to the weather and post whatever we can in the Discord, give any sort of wave stacks we might see. And then really, I think it'll come in more to play in showdown slates. We're always looking at the windy conditions and the tee times when it comes to those. So I think this is another big week for that. Right now, the winds really look like they could be down, but at any moment we could see that forecast just shoot right up. And go from, single digits to 20 plus mile an hour gusts and such. So we'll keep an eye on that. I think this is another great week for our showdown in Discord, as well as potential wave stacking.
Yes, absolutely. And for that, link in the bio of our Twitter handle at FSI_DFS for the Discord channel. And looking forward to this week. Core model rankings coming out later this week as well. So, and maybe even give the guys a little bit of insight on some ownership projections and stuff like that. So, all right, guys, thank you for listening. Like and comment below, and enjoy your week. And let's go. Let's make some money.
All right, sweet. Good luck.